want you to picture a scenario that every silver stacker dreams about. You bought silver at $25, you bought it at $30, you held through the volatility, the manipulation, and the waiting. And now, finally, you look at your screen and you see the number you have been waiting for, $66 an ounce. You are sitting on a gold mine. You decide it's time to cash in a little bit of that profit. Maybe you want to pay off your mortgage. Maybe you want to buy a new car. So you pack up a monster box of Silver Eagles, 500 ounces of beautiful American coinage, and you drive down to your local coin shop. You walk in with a smile, expecting the dealer to welcome you with open arms. You place the box on the counter. And then, silence. The dealer doesn't pull out a stack of cash. He doesn't check the spot price. He looks at you, shakes his head, and says something that sends a chill down your spine. "I'm sorry, I can't buy that." You think he's joking. "What do you mean? Spot is $66. Demand is at an all-time high." He sighs and points to the back room. "I know what the screen says, but I have 3,000 ounces sitting in the safe that I can't move. The refiners aren't buying. The wholesalers are tapped out. I can give you cash because I can sell this metal to anyone else." This is not a hypothetical scenario. This is happening right now, today, across the United States and Europe. We are witnessing a phenomenon that hasn't happened since 1980. It is called the silver freeze. While the chart on your computer screen shows a rocket ship to the moon, the actual plumbing of the physical market has completely seized up. Major refiners, the companies that turn scrap and coins back into industrial bars, have stopped accepting metal. Online dealers are putting up inventory maintenance notices to hide the fact that they are facing a liquidity crisis. Local shops are offering $5, sometimes $10 below spot price, just to discourage you from selling. We are in a liquidity trap. The buy button is working fine, but the sell button has been disabled. In this video, I'm going to expose the terrifying mechanical breakdown happening behind the scenes. I will explain why backwardation has destroyed the business model of the global refining industry, why a 39% lease rate is the smoking gun of a systemic collapse, and why your silver might be worth $66 on paper, but $0 in the real world. Unless you know how to navigate this freeze, to understand why your local dealer won't buy your silver, you have to understand how the silver market actually works. It is a chain. You are at the bottom. Above you is the dealer. Above him is the wholesaler. And at the top of the food chain is the refiner. Refiners are the heart of the system. Companies like Asahi, Metalor, and Heraeus taking door bars from mines and junk silver from dealers, melting it down and purifying it into 999 fine 1,000-ounce bars that can be delivered to the COMEX or London. Here's the secret. Refiners are not gamblers. When they buy your silver, they don't want to bet on the price going up or down. They just want to make a small fee for refining it. So how do they protect themselves? They hedge. Normally, the moment a refiner buys physical silver from a dealer, they immediately sell a futures contract on the paper market. This locks in their price. If silver drops $10, they lose money on the physical metal, but they make money on the short contract. They are neutral. They are safe. But this week, that safety mechanism exploded. We are seeing a market condition called deep backwardation. This means the spot price, the price of physical metal now, is higher than the futures price, the price of paper metal later. Think about the math. If a refiner buys your silver at the spot price of $66 and they try to hedge it by selling a futures contract that is trading at $63, they are locking in a guaranteed 3 hours loss on every single ounce. They cannot hedge. And if they cannot hedge, they cannot buy. It is that simple. The volatility is so extreme and the disconnect between physical and paper is so wide that the refiners have gone on strike. They have sent letters to wholesalers saying, "Stop sending us metal. We won't take it." When the refiner stops buying, the wholesaler stops buying. When the wholesaler stops buying, your local coin shop stops buying. And when your LCS stops buying, you're stuck holding the bag. This is the silver freeze. But it gets worse. The reason for this backwardation isn't just speculation. It's a physical shortage so acute that the banks are cannibalizing each other. We track a metric called the lease rate. This is the interest rate you have to pay to borrow physical silver. In a normal boring market, the lease rate is close to 0. There's plenty of silver sitting in vaults, and owners are happy to lend it out for pennies. In December 2025, the annualized lease rate for silver spiked to 39%. Let that sink in. 39% interest. That is credit card level usury. Why would a bullion bank pay 39% interest to borrow a bar of silver? Because they have to. They are short. They sold metal. They don't have to industrial clients like Samsung or Tesla, or to investors standing for delivery on the COMEX. The delivery truck is waiting at the dock, and the vault is empty. This creates a paradox. The big banks are desperate for 1,000-ounce industrial bars. But you hold 1-ounce coins. Why don't they just buy my coins, you ask? Because of the refinery bottleneck we just talked about. To turn your 1,000 American Eagles into one industrial delivery bar takes a refinery. But the refiners are offline because the hedging market is broken. So we have a starving giant, the banks, and a feast, retail stacks. But the chef, the refiner, has walked out of the kitchen. This disconnect is why you see spot price at $66, but a buyback price at your local shop of $58. The liquidity premium has vanished because the metal is trapped in the wrong form. Now, let's look at the signs of contagion. How do you know this is real and not just a theory? You look at the phantom stock. Major online bullion dealers, the big names you know, are suddenly sending out emails about system maintenance or inventory audits. They are delaying shipping times. Orders that used to ship in 24 hours are now taking 2 weeks, 4 weeks, sometimes months. Why? Because they are selling metal they don't have yet. They are selling you pre-sale silver that they expect to get from the refiners. But the refiners are backed up or shut down. So the dealer takes your cash, locks in the price, and then prays they can find the metal later. This is a dangerous game called selling short the box. In 2008 and again in 2011, we saw dealers go bankrupt doing this. They took millions in orders, the price spiked, they couldn't source the metal, and they folded. The customers became unsecured creditors in a bankruptcy court. If you are buying silver right now and the website says delayed shipping or pre-order, be very, very careful. You are lending your money to a company that might be insolvent. Only buy what is in stock, and ideally, only buy what you can hold in your hand immediately. We have to look at 1980, the Hunt brothers. Everyone talks about the price hitting $50, but nobody talks about the liquidity crisis that happened after the crash. When the price plummeted, people rushed to sell. But the dealers had no cash. They had bought silver at $40 and now it was $20. They were bankrupt. People stood in lines for blocks, holding bags of silver, and nobody would pay them. Today, we are seeing the inverse. The price is rising, but the mechanism of the market is breaking. This is what a currency reset looks like. It isn't a smooth transition, it is a seizure. The paper market, COMEX, is trying to suppress the price by selling infinite futures. The physical market, industry retail, is draining the supply. The friction between these two forces creates heat. Eventually, the machine breaks. We are in the breaking phase. The fact that dealers are refusing to buy is actually the most bullish signal possible. For the long term, even if it hurts in the short term. It means physical silver has become so scarce and so valuable that the paper hedging tools used to control it no longer work. It means silver is de-financializing. It is stopping being a financial asset that you trade with clicks and starting to become a strategic asset that you hoard. So, what do? You're sitting on a stack, the price is up, but you can't sell. First, do not panic sell for below spot. If a dealer offers you $55 when spot is $66, walk away. He is trying to scalp you. He knows the real value. He is banking on your fear. Do not give him your wealth for a discount. Second, understand the two markets. We are seeing a bifurcation. There's the spot price, which is fake, and the street price, which is real. If the dealers won't buy, the market will move to private transactions, peer to peer. This is how gold trades in hyperinflationary economies like Venezuela or Zimbabwe. It doesn't go through the banks, it goes hand to hand. Third, the gold swap. If you're desperate for liquidity, look for dealers who will trade silver for gold rather than silver for cash. Dealers are often more willing to swap metal for metal because it doesn't require them to outlay cash. They can hold the silver inventory for the long haul if they swap it for gold inventory. Here is the endgame. The freeze cannot last forever. Why? Because industry needs the metal. Samsung needs it for batteries. Raytheon needs it for missiles. They cannot use paper contracts. They need physical atoms. Eventually, these industrial giants will bypass the COMEX and the broken refiners. They will start buying directly from the mines and the large stockpiles. They will set a new price, a price that clears the market. When that happens, the spot price will snap up to meet reality. The backwardation will resolve, not by the spot price falling, but by the futures price exploding. The silver freeze is the calm before the storm. It is the moment the water pulls back from the beach before the tsunami hits. The banks are trapped. The refiners are paralyzed. The vaults are empty. If you hold physical silver, you are holding the winning lottery ticket. But you have to be patient enough to wait for the claim window to open. Do not let the liquidity crunch scare you out of your position. This is exactly what they want. They want you to sell cheap so they can cover their shorts. Hold the line. The system is breaking in real time. The data doesn't lie. 39% lease rates, backwardation, dealer defaults. These are the death rattle of the paper price suppression scheme. If you want to know the moment the freeze thaws and the real repricing begins, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. I'm monitoring the refiner bulletins and the wholesale networks daily. In the meantime, tell me in the comments, has your local dealer lowered their buyback price? Are they turning people away? I want to hear your boots on the ground reports. Stay liquid. Stay dangerous. Class dismissed.